You need a shave, mate.
I need a haircut as well, bad.
I thought I needed a shave. You definitely need a shave.
So what we've been doing on lockdown, in fact, everybody who's watching, this is the voice of UK drifting, Mr. Ian Waddington.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, pal. What have you been up to on lockdown then, Wando?
Still working, because working on my own, so workshops on a farm in the middle of nowhere, so just been still going in. Took the time to clean the workshop up, get through a few projects, even dusted off my own S13, and thought about doing a little bit to that.
Are you catching up on work then?
Yeah, caught up on work and just started sorting the workshop out and whatnot, and did some projects at home as well, like laid a patio and whatnot that I had going on. So yeah, to be fair, it's done me a bit of a favour.
So for people who don't know, you build drift cars, don't you? Do fabrication and stuff like that?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I do roll cages, tube work, all aluminium and stainless steel work as well. Just started doing it because couldn't afford to pay anyone back in the day when I was drifting, so I had to learn how to do it myself.
When did you start welding?
When I was probably still at school. I'm going to say I was about 10, 11 years old when my dad first taught me how to weld.
And what are you now, 40?
44, no. I'm 36 tomorrow.
36 tomorrow, birthday boy.
Yeah.
So this will go out tomorrow, so should we say happy birthday now? Because is it today? Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Wando.
Cheers, mate, thank you.
Happy birthday, you old bastard.
So, a bit about your drift history. Where did it start? What got you into it?
Going way back now. I'd say it started probably 2005, really. Was into a bit of street racing. I met Bagsy in about 2003, 2004. We was doing a bit of street racing in around Lakeside, and then kind of see some people going roundabout sideways, didn't know who they were, but that was more interesting than it was going in a straight line. So we kind of just watched these guys, and then it turns out it was John Stevens, Baba, Gav Cummins, those guys, Sid Crowfoot from Team Super Slide from back in the day, and James Hudson. It was all them kind of guys hanging out, drifting around roundabouts, and yeah, it kind of caught my interests. About 2 years later, decided that I'd had enough of Volkswagens and Fords and stuff like that. So I went and bought an S14, and that was it. What
car did you have before the 14?
So I had two Golf GTIs, Mark II Golf GTIs, and then before that I had a Fiesta RS Turbo.
Proper cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to your 14. You got your 14.
Yeah, so I got the 14, and then was like kind of got friendly with the Team Superslide boys and started meeting more and more people. Went to Donington Park and see Buckle and Mark Looney and some of the old school guys competing there, EDC. Watched them guys, followed that championship around for a year, and then thought I'd give it a shot. Was already doing a bit of street drifting as everyone was, and going to Santa Pod doing the practice days. And then Bagsy kind of stumbled across the BDC licensing days at Silverstone and said, come on, let's go give it a shot, see what it's like. And he had a Volvo at the time, I think it was.
What, so did he get his license in a Volvo?
No, we built an S13 in about the space of 2 months in the car park of my old workshop. Mike Marshall, we'd met Mike Marshall at this point.
If you had a workshop, why didn't you use the inside of the workshop?
Because it was technically my dad's workshop. We just used to hijack it in the evenings, and then Bagsy needed somewhere to dump the car. So my dad was like, you know what, leave it in the car park, and then, it can stay there for as long as it needs. Mike Marshall helped do the conversion, did an SR20 conversion. We both headed to Silverstone. Bagsy got his license that day. I didn't. And then we went to a licensing day at Norfolk Arena, and it was Mark Buckle and Rich Newton were the judges. And there was only 3 of us doing our licenses that day. And it was me, Nathan Chivers, and Mike Marshall.
Go on, who got him and who didn't?
We all got them, luckily enough.
So they were the licensing day and there was only 3 of you?
3 of us, yeah, believe it or not. If you did one now, I guess you'd sell it out in about 2 seconds flat.
Yeah, because they did, like when me and Matt did our licenses, they literally just used to sell out straight away, didn't they?
Yeah. Having Norfolk.
Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, so did that, and that was it at tail end of 2007, and then competed in the first ever round of BDC at Teesside 2008.
How did that go for you?
Crap, as you can imagine. Coming from street drifting and a few practice days at Santa Pod, like, is nothing compared to. Never even been to Teesside. You know, me and Bagsy, our first time driving anywhere past the north of M25 was to Teesside, and West Track. Never drifted with clipping points or anything like that. Walls, you know, and it was sketchy, to be honest with you.
Were you in semi-pro then?
Yeah, me and Bagsy were both semi-pro. He qualified and went through to the next day, or that evening. I think it was a one-day event. He went through to that evening. I didn't qualify, as always, and but it was good. You know, it was good fun. It was a learning. It was an experience, and crazy to think back now. It was all them years ago.
Well, semi-pro weren't twinning then, were it?
No,
it's just single runs.
Yeah, single runs. You didn't have to have a roll cage, just a bucket seat and a harness and a fire extinguisher at the time.
Crazy times.
So then, how long did you compete for after that?
So I competed for most of that season, and then I had a car fire. The car caught fire at Santa Pod, and then just couldn't solve the issues that we had with the car for the rest of that year. So I bailed out the rest of the season. Bagsy carried on. And then I took a year out. I took 2009 out because I needed to move out. Life moved on. Bagsy got the drive with Jap Speed at the time, and I couldn't really afford it either. I was struggling for money at the time. So I took a year out, and then I came back in 2010, and I competed from 2010 with Mark Lappage all the way up to 2014 when I stopped drifting competitively.
Is that when it were 14 when you stopped?
Yeah, 2014. It was halfway through the season. 2014. My SR20 failed on the dyno the night before round 4 at Liddon Hill, and I said that's enough. I'd already put engines in that car. I was like, I'm done. You know, this is the time to call it a day.
So, at what point did you build the S13?
So I bought the S13. I was going to say October, November of 2008. I decided to strip the S14. I'd had a few bad crashes in it out street drifting, as always, get it wrong, hitting a few posts and bollards and whatnot. And the chassis was tired. And I always loved S13. So I thought, you know what, time to make a change. I'm going to strip the car, put everything off the S14 into the S13 and start fresh. And that's exactly what I did. In that year out, I built a whole brand new car.
So was it good start? It was a good, you had reliability and stuff. First
yeah,
years.
Reliability.
You won, didn't you? Did you win semi-pro?
In 2013, I come third in the championship. 2012, I think I come third in the championship. Moved up to pro at that time.
Yeah, I remember you doing well. I think that was the first year I competed where you were doing well.
Doing well, yeah. In a borrowed car again then, because my S13, I had horrendous SR20 engine failures, and the manager of our team at the time, Scott Brandon, said, you know what, we built him a car. We did a video about building a car in 24 hours. And he lent me that car, and I ended up using that car for for the whole season, and ended up getting to a couple of podiums and finishing third in the championship.
That car is now Bagsy's 13 that's in America.
Yeah, that car, I basically got out of it. Bagsy got into it when he joined the team with me and Mark Lappage. We stripped it and rebuilt it. That was the car he rolled at Liddon Hill.
Oh, yeah.
So Bagsy rolled that car at Liddon Hill, and then we went...
Later that year, Lappage also rolled, didn't he?
Yeah, Lappage rolled at Teesside, yeah.
The double roll.
They all rolled, except for me.
That was because your car didn't go off trailer.
Exactly, yeah. My SR20 wouldn't last a lap to roll the car. Bagsy then, after he rolled it, he took it to Abu Dhabi, where him, Corbin and Chris Jenner did the LS3 engine conversion, and he did really, really well around the drift GP. He kept that car for years. I think it was only probably last year that the guys actually stripped it, cut the car up and scrapped it and got rid of it.
So is it a different car now? So
yeah, that car's gone now. That car died in the end because between me and Bagsy, I think it had enough.
And then, so obviously once you stopped driving, you started commentating.
So yeah, 2014, I still stayed with the team, still helped them out and did quite a lot. Me and Bagsy ended up going to Europe together, so I ended up becoming Bagsy's mechanic, driver of his trailer and whatnot. Took him all around Europe. He did really well in King of Europe and ended up winning the King of Kings event in Malta, €10,000 prize money and whatnot. We come back from there and decided that enough was enough and that I didn't want to drive anymore. And then I spoke to Mark Buckle. I said, look, I'm taking a step back from driving. If there's anything you need me to do, you want me to help in the championship, I'd love to be involved, because I've been involved in it since day one. I didn't want to just leave it. And Mark asked me to be the scrutineer, because at that time I'd just started up my own company building cars and whatnot. So did scrutineering for the first year. But in the first event in 2015, I did an interview on the live stream, and on the way home that night, Paul McCallum rang me and he said, can you do some commentary tomorrow instead of scrutineering? And I said, yeah, who am I going to be commentating with? And he said, Ben Manuel. I said, yeah, cool, let's go for it. And the rest is history, as they say.
Yeah, when you and Ben were commentating, there was a lot of banter and a lot of stuff that probably shouldn't have been on the live stream, weren't there?
Yeah, them early days you could really get away with it when you had like a maximum of 1,000 people tuned in on a live stream. It was, you could say what you wanted, but I think those days kind of made my career what it is today, because people remember it being fun, and watching it progress from being a fun live stream to being a professional, slick live stream that it is now. People really respect how far it's come along.
Yeah.
Just rewind back. So when you started drifting, who started first, you or Bagsy?
Me and Bagsy were in a team together. So me and Bagsy were actually in a team together way back in 2008 called Team 200, sponsored by...
What did you drive, mate?
I had S14 and Bagsy had an S13.
How did you put that in?
Yeah.
So you both started together, or
Yeah.
he started first, or you started?
No,
One of you must have started drifting first.
We both kind of started drifting together, to be honest with you. I had an S-body, he had a Volvo, but he had never F1 moto in Brands Hatch, did the engine conversion, put a Renault Clio engine in it, the 16 valve with the bike carbs and whatnot. And I kept telling him the whole way through this project, like, just forget about that, just get yourself an S-body, because these are so much better. And when he finally bit the bullet, sold the Volvo and bought himself an S13, it was like a complete driver. Yeah. And then that was when he did really well. 2009, he joined Team Jack Speed and he won the championship. Yeah.
So you do quite a bit of work with Bagsy still, don't you?
Yeah, so I was involved with the GTR project from day one when we started that. That was quite an exciting project. He asked me to go work down at his place, SB Motorsport, with Corbin. And we built the GTR, which is obviously a huge success. Did the filming in Sheerness with Daigo Saito and all those boys. And then recently just had a couple of meetings. We're going to start another exciting project. It actually starts tomorrow. So I'll be down at SB Motorsport, tomorrow, and we will be, filming.
Which is using another VR lump.
I'm not going to say too much because it's not really
definite. Put it online already.
But yeah, we'll be using the VR38 out of the Skyline, out of the GTR, but in something completely different. Very cool project. It's going to be all live streamed. There's going to be lots of media content out of it. Unlike the GTR, where it was a massive secret, we're going to really publicise this, go live quite a lot.
Publicise the build.
Yeah, so there's a lot of partners involved. So I think everyone wants to use that to get it out there.
Especially while there's nothing
no events going on. Yeah,
exactly that as well. Yeah.
So that sort of, you're working with Bagsy, you've kind of gone all around the world with it, have you?
Yeah. So me and Bagsy toured all of Europe. I think at one point when I left home, I was gone for 4 months. We drove all the way down from the UK to France. We went France to Spain to Italy, and then shipped the car to Malta, and then come back, and then did more events on the way home. And it was an incredible, experience to trailer a car all around Europe and just see the sights, have some fun, and compete at the same time,
Yeah. So what other sort of builds have you been in? What other people's cars have you built that people might know that are in BDC?
Oh, plenty.
I know what he's going to go to first.
Plenty of builds. Yeah, obviously, probably one of my favourites is Oliver Bolton's. Oliver Bolton's S13 was something that I'm hugely proud of. Probably one of my greatest builds to date. That and Bagsy's GTR. They let me do what I wanted with it. I gave them so much advice of how I thought the car should be built, and straight off the bat it worked 100%. And incredible build. Probably one of the ones that not a lot of people know is the Matt Carter's Nissan Skyline that he still drives to this day. That car was built by me many moons ago for Dan Isabel. Danny's had that car for about a year. Didn't really get on with it, didn't like it, sold it. Matt Carter got it, changed a load of stuff, and then Matt's held on to that car for, till now.
A lot of years, yeah.
Yeah, and still going now.
Did it not have an SR in it when Danny Isabel had it?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it had an SR20 in it at the time when Danny Isabel had it.
Sweet. So, on to the questions we've been asking everybody who's coming on. Who do you think's going to win Pro and Pro 2? You're not allowed to say Ollie Bolton either.
Yeah, that's a given. I'd really like to see Ollie win the Pro event, win Pro Championship. I think he deserves it. He's been an incredible driver. He did so well in a Marm with such a limited tool. Do you know what I mean? It's probably the least powered car on the grid, and for what he done was insane. And I know that when the car's back, which is back I think tomorrow, it's full steam ahead with an engine change and loads of stuff going on with that car. So it's going to be incredible.
It's going to be good with an RB in it, isn't it? I think it should be quite good.
You know what? Twin turbo V8 is just going to be insane. Pro 2, do you know what? I don't know, because there's so many talented drivers in that class. Like, it could change in a heartbeat, that championship. Like you think you're going to see it go in one way, and then all of a sudden it just changes direction massively. Where the Pro class, you kind of see the consistent drivers making the top fours, making the podiums, looking strong, and a lot of those guys' cars are a lot higher strung than the Pro 2 class. So, you can kind of see where it's going. Where Pro 2, I don't know, it could change so quick, so quick. And even a Drift Cup driver, if you got a Drift Cup driver come through at round 1, they could steal the show by the end of the year. Someone that you didn't even count in the fight.
Yeah. So we want a name.
Do you know what? I don't even know. I couldn't even put a name on it. To be honest with you. Because, like I say, I think it could change so quickly, and I'd like it to change so quickly. I think it would be awesome if it was so unpredictable.
Yeah. It kind of were a bit this year, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, to see Louis Edwards at the end of the year just come through and be like, he was there in the background the whole year through, but you kind of didn't expect him to take it, and he did, which was mental.
Yeah. So, will we ever see Ian Waddington driving again?
I wanted to try and drive at Matsuri last year. I had a big plan of chucking a car together. Ollie Bolton gave me an E46 coupe that he had kicking about. I've got a JZ with a conversion and loads of parts for an E46. And I was going to build a car for Matsuri, but work took over. And the time I've travelled to God knows how many different championships around the UK and Europe, they just ran out of time. I guess now we've probably got a lot of spare time on our hands. I'm going to try and do something. I do have, like I say, a JZ that's being built at the moment. I also have an SR20 that's fully built, that was built for my S13. I started back again fresh, whole new block, new cylinder head, full Tomoe SR20 engine. So yeah, look, never say never. I've been given the chance to drive a few cars recently. I think the best was Bagsy's old PS13 out in Slovenia last year. It was just insane to have a little skid around that in a car park, and give me the bug back for sure.
It's all it takes, isn't it? A little
one little
skid around the car park.
Yeah.
So if you do get a car together, will we see you in the likes of Battle Royale?
Yeah, I'd like to do Battle Royale. I'd definitely like to just turn up at an event and just have some fun. Mark Buckle we spoke about before, just chucking me in at like the final of Drift Cup just for fun, just putting the microphone down for one weekend and just going back out and getting on the grid with the boys and girls and just having some serious fun.
Remind you why you do it and that.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it'd be pretty cool if we could get say you, Malks, a few of the other people who work like kind of behind the scenes who are actually drivers or used to be drivers.
Yeah,
we could get them into the Battle Royale. I think it could be quite.
Who'd win? Like out of some of them people, so like Malks, Wando.
Who else would you add into it? To like obviously sweeps.
Do you think Paul McCallum can remember how to drive?
Yeah, he can still pedal a car for sure. Paul McCallum, I'd like to see Ben behind the wheel of a car again.
Yeah.
Manuel.
Manuel, yeah, I'd like to see Manuel behind the wheel of a car again. Ryan Pothecary, I'd like to see him drive.
Yeah.
He was a good driver. Like, I loved his S13. Back in the day. Oh God, there's so many. And do you know what? I think if you had 16 people together that worked in the championship, I think you'd have a really, really good, a good afternoon of watching people drive.
I'm sure we could sort something out so you could all have a shot in somebody's car. Like at the end of the day at Battle Royale or something.
Yeah, just like a quick battle. Everyone
Battle of the has-beens.
Top 16, pull them all out of a hat.
That's it. Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good fun. I'd like to do that.
Yeah. Can I have a drive myself?
You need to fix your car first.
Yeah, you'd have to, wouldn't you? I would like to see who'd win. I think Malks would probably be on top.
I think Malks would. He drives quite a
Mini
lot.
One?
Yeah, Mini and Malks both drive quite a lot at Norfolk. So, yeah.
So with your commentating, it's pretty much took you all around the world.
Yeah.
What sort of places, what championships have you commentated at?
So obviously I cover all of the UK and Ireland, and then obviously when I started working with Dave Egan, I did a whole year in IDC. I think it was the final year of IDC, and that was when he asked me to be part of the team for DMEC, and that was a huge honour. That was such a big step for me, just because I love commentating the UK. It's like I love being at home and seeing all these faces that I know so well driving. But I didn't really consider it a career or anything big, until that point when he asked me to go out there. And obviously when Red Bull got involved, it just completely changed again, and it became something really serious. And DMEC is just like incredible, like without a shadow of a doubt. And people don't say it's the pinnacle. I do believe it is the best drift championship in the world without a shadow of a doubt. I'd say, you'd be hard pushed to beat it in any kind of way. But joining that championship, that's took me all over Europe. Working with Bagsy took me all over Europe. And then when I landed DMEC, I was approached by the guys out in Oman, and they asked me to become their commentator and their series announcer for the English live stream. And again, another massive step, getting that job out there, traveling to the Middle East, and just a whole new mix of names and drivers, and being in a country that I'd never been in before was just insane. Been approached by a couple of other championships as well. There was whispers in my ear about 2 years ago for commentating at FD Japan, but really? I never heard anything from that again. As well as the FIA games, they did approach me at one point. And I'm still, at the moment, having a few little chats with the guys from the RDS, the Russian Drift Series, about being the English commentator for those as well. But problem is I run out of weekends, so it's like...
only so many in the year.
What events clash with what events?
Yeah, so in all the years you've been driving for quite some time, obviously, and commentating and all that. What is your best drift memory? Whether it were driving or commentating or something that happened, the thing that sticks in your mind the most?
I think me driving personally, one of the memories that stuck out the most would be coming third in the championship. After we all know the hard work, the blood, sweat, the tears that goes into competing, to finally get a result and, do everyone proud, not just for yourself, but for your sponsors, your families, for everyone involved, to stand up in front of everyone at the dinner dance. And it is only the third place trophy, I know, but still to take that home, was...
Did you get any first place?
No, never ever stood on the top step of the podium. I'm not good enough for that. But I'll take third any day of the week.
Yeah, it's still good going.
Yeah, to take that home, was a massive deal to me. And then I'd say commentating, probably two moments that really always stick out in my mind and give me goosebumps when I think about it, is watching Conor Shanahan beat James Dean in Poland in 2018. That was just mind-blowing. First time in Europe, first time being at that event in Poland, 10,000 people in the grandstand. It was just...
on his birthday.
Yeah, it was hair-raising, and people say that, I put on this front of being a commentator, but when the mics went down and the live stream stopped, me and Dave Egan had tears in our eyes at that point, because it was just such an incredible, moment that we'd lived in. It was insane. That, and watching Matt Carter become the two-time BDC champion,
Yeah, good.
That for me, yeah. Again, I was with Eddie Power and Dave Egan in the tower. A piss wet BDC as always at Teesside, and I think it was a whole culmination of things. I think it was. I'd always looked up to Matt as a driver. I met him out on the street drifting way back in 2007. Watching him come through the ranks with Falcon and Team Green, and knowing him and looking up to him as a driver, watching him win that championship after all that hard work at Teesside, where it all began in the rain in that car, and seeing the emotion that he was going through.
Yeah, you could see it meant so much.
It meant a lot to him that year.
Oh, it was just, yeah, the hairs on my arm are standing up now thinking it's a special moment, and yeah, I always think about that.
So obviously, with you going around Europe and all this, that the places that most of us English drifters don't get to go to, which track on, like which stop on the Driftmasters tour would you say would be the one to go to with the best atmosphere, the best party after, all that stuff?
Emphasis on the party.
The party. I mean, if we're talking about party, look, I'm going to go out all out. There's two that are my favourites in Europe. But one that I always tell people they need to go to and do, as a bucket list is Riga.
Riga.
For sure. It's just, there's nothing like it. When you're there, the speed that those guys enter that first corner, and it's completely blind. There is no runoff. I'm going to say there's 2 meters of grass and there's a solid concrete wall, and that is it. And them boys don't mess around. We've all seen the video of Martin Richards getting chased down by Gotcha Chivchan through there. They're just pinned, and the grandstand are on their feet, and the street parade. And then once that's all done and dusted, and you think that's enough, you go out with every single driver and fan and member of staff and party the night away in Riga. And yeah, when you get home at 6 a.m, long day.
Yeah. So obviously with all your Driftmasters,
you were going to say 2 places then.
Oh yeah.
So Riga or 1.
Riga would be my, if you're going to go to Europe there. But if you're a hardcore drift fan and you want to see something insane, Poland for sure.
What?
Because there's nothing like it in the world. You will never go to a track and experience anything like that. That place gets sold out, 10,000 people in the grandstands. There's just a buzz. It's electric, and there's no runoff. There's no room for error. We've all seen what happens if you get it wrong around there. It's game over.
How big is that track? 'Cause like on the live stream, it don't look very big.
It's not.
Oh, is it not?
It's very small.
Like Buxton size or bigger?
I'd say probably a little bit bigger than Buxton, but not a whole lot bigger at all.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what makes the atmosphere.
Yeah.
That many people crammed in.
Exactly. And I had those flashbacks, final of BDC 2019, standing there, and when everyone got those torches out on their phones, the hair stood up on my arm, because it was like being back in Poland 2 years ago when Conor Shanahan, did the unbelievable and beat James. Seeing Oliver Evans take the championship there under the lights, fireworks, insane. Those small arenas create such an atmosphere that you don't get that through live stream. You can't experience that by sitting at home and watching it. You have to be there and watch it yourself.
Yeah, I think pretty much every BDC driver we've had on said exactly the same, about the atmosphere at Buxton, how unreal it is. But seeing as we've been asking everybody who's going to win BDC, seeing as you have a lot to do with Driftmasters, who do you think taking Driftmasters this year? You're not allowed to say James Dean.
Do you know what? I'm going to go and say, I'm going to tell everyone now, I don't want James Dean to win it. I think every championship that, apart from BDC, that I've been involved in, James Dean's won it. I think he's 7 championships now, back-to-back wins. I think he's done something that no one else in the world has ever done. And I think even in himself, he knows it's getting a little bit tiring now, because it's the championship, he's expected to win it. I think Jack Shanahan has got what it takes, 100%. I think Jack just needs to get himself in the right frame of mind, and then he could easily take the DMEC championship without a shadow of a doubt. But it'd be nice to see another European take it. I'm good friends with a lot of those boys, Max Heidrich and all those. Yeah. Again, I don't know. I think Jack Shanahan could take it easily.
That's one of those top picks for Driftmasters.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
So obviously, we're working with Bagsy and stuff like that. You've got to build some pretty savage cars. But
Yeah.
if you were getting back into driving and you had a money's no object build, like what chassis would you have? What engine? What would be the dream build for you in Waddington?
S13 SR20.
No, I don't think I would. I think I'd copy and paste to James Dean. I'd be an E92 Eurofighter, dry sump 2JZ, and sequential gearbox. That platform is incredible. And if I had no budget, if I had an open checkbook and I could just go to HGK Racing and get them to build the car, that's exactly what I'd be doing, because those cars are phenomenal.
So you wouldn't even build it yourself?
No chance. I know that.
Why would you? Money's not an object. Crack on, boys.
True.
I'd be sitting indoors with my feet up, letting someone else build the car for sure.
So have you got any questions you want to ask Matt about BDC for this year?
I think I've been on the phone to Matt more times this year than I have my wife. When can we start? Because I'm getting drift patrols massively. I think everyone.
I'm up for asking anyone else. If anyone else knows, then yeah, ideal.
I haven't. Do you know what? I really
We just want to start, don't we? That's the thing.
Yeah, I think just we get all through this and everyone comes out the other side safe and well. And whatever happens, we do some form of drifting. Even if we don't get a championship this year, let's just all get together and jam, and have some fun and let some people do some skids.
Yeah, there'll be some rounds. There'll be some
something out it. Sure, yeah.
Have you got? You want to ask what Ian, Matt?
What do I want to ask Ian? When's it time for a shave?
As soon as the barber's open, the light has got really dark now, so you can barely see me, which is good because my hair is massive, my beard is huge. Listen, I'll make the fatal mistake like everyone else did and didn't go to the barbers before they announced the lockdown, and then the barber shut, and then that was me. It was game over. So, yeah.
Well, I'm all out of questions. I didn't write that many down, so I know Wando just carries on talking, and he has done, and you've answered them all fucking amazing.
Do you miss driving?
Yeah, massively. I think the worst thing for me is I love commentary. I love being involved in events and helping run events, and I'm more involved in Oman now than what I was before. So quite involved with helping them out on the way that everything is run. The hardest thing is going to a drift event, seeing everyone having fun, see everyone driving, not driving yourself, and then going home and thinking about how much fun everyone else has had, or going to Matsuri and being a passenger. What's up, mate? In a minute. Being a passenger in a car and not being able to drive it. Do you know what I mean? That's the hardest thing.
I've got a question for you. Who's the best person to commentate with? Who's the best person you've ever commentated with?
Dave Egan, hands down.
You said you were the worst.
Ben Manuel was amazing, because we just had so much fun, and at that point there was no holds barred. You could say what you wanted. So for that point, it was really good fun. Eddie Power is probably the most excitable man I'll ever commentate with, because he just literally bounces around the commentary tower. But being in a room with Dave Egan and commentating is just incredible. I looked up to Dave Egan when I started commentating. Him and Eddie and Jared Dienda, they were people that I watched, and watched how they commentated and what they said and how they said it and how they got that excitement across. So to be able to commentate with him now and work with him is insane. And yeah, I think me and Dave have probably become such a strong team in commentary. Is unbelievable. I'm missing being in the commentary tower with him, if I'm honest with you. I messaged him the other day saying we need to hurry up and get some stuff together. Let's go, work together, because it's a buzz. We bounce off each other. There's such a good vibe. Even the little bit of banter is just insane. But yeah, the whole situation working with Dave is just insane.
I can't believe you haven't done any virtual commentary on anything.
You know what? I thought you was going to say virtual drifting. I'm terrible at drifting on a sim. I spent 2 days in drift games' office on their sim, and after 2 days, I still couldn't even make it out. I couldn't make it out of the paddock, so I was like, "That's enough of that. I'm not going to waste my money on a sim setup."
Yeah, I'm saying, mate. I'm useless on it. So you're on about the no holds barred commentary, what it was like a few years ago.
Yeah.
If they could have, say, like at BDC, if there was a over 18s live stream where you could actually say anything you actually wanted, who would you have commentating inside you?
Mark Buckle.
Yeah.
Yeah, me and Mark Buckle have had this crazy idea about having an over 18s event for the last 3 years now, and it's been like no phones, no videoing, just a select amount of people that we know we can trust, and then letting people go out and drive and then commentating on them. But yeah, swearing's allowed. There is no law. You can say what you want. And yeah, I'm still waiting for that day. I'm waiting for Mark Buckle to sort that one out.
What drivers would you want at that? Like, here's a few drivers who you'd want to chat some shit
I'd have
about.
you there, Simo, for sure, because I know you can take it. You definitely have to have some drivers there that wouldn't mind what you said. They've got they've got a thick skin and they can understand that it's fun, because there's a few out there that you can say things about and they take it to heart too easily.
So can you give us a few drivers who you'd want on that grid?
George Barkley for sure. I've been waiting to rip that man a new one for a long time now. He's a good friend of mine. I built his S13 for him. He's becoming an incredible driver. I still like to wind him up, so I'd have him there. Yeah, I'd have you, Simo, Bagsy for sure, because I've got so much on him. Oh yeah. Paul Beachy, because I don't even think he'd make it off the start line without spinning for sure. I think most of those, Oliver Evans and the guys, like I say, people that I know could take a laugh and handle it, and give it back as well, because that's part of it.
Yeah. So how do you think Ollie would have got on in Beachy's car if he drove it at round one?
I know what went into it. I know that there was quite a lot of work that went into straightening that car out alignment wise, and I know there was some plans for me to go down there and do quite a lot of work on that car and get it square and straight and ready to rock and roll. I personally think Ollie probably would have done pretty well in the car. He's a naturally talented driver anyway. You can't take that away from him. And I think just being in another S chassis with a little bit more power, sequential gearbox again, I think he would have done well. And last year he missed round one down to no fault of my own, taking too long to build the car. But I think if he would have had a few more points in the bag, he could have finished higher off in the championship last year.
So you cost him.
I cost him the championship. Yeah, sorry about that.
But yeah, I've got nothing else to ask you, Ian. You've been had a brilliant chat with you. I don't know if Matt's got anything else that you want to say.
I'm all chatted out.
Matt's all chatted out.
But yeah, you've answered all his questions and give us some good info, really. I'm sure everybody who's watching will enjoy getting to know you a bit better.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the hardest things is, being the front of a championship, or, being someone that's watched quite a lot. I don't think people ask me enough questions, and I've said this before in an interview with Sophie, saying that I don't mind sitting down talking to people about my past and where I've been and what I was into, and how I got to where I'm at. And I think still think a lot of people now don't know that I build cars or get involved in a lot of that stuff. So it's nice to obviously sit down and tell people that my past and what I'm doing on the side.
You just like any opportunity to talk, don't you? I
love it. It's been a few months since I come back from the Middle East, so I haven't talked a lot since then.
Well, working on your own in garage.
Working on my own, I can't be commentating on my own. It's just not the same.
Do you practice commentary?
Yeah, in the workshop quietly.
But yeah, I suppose I bet like a lot of the new fans to drifting now will probably not even know that you used to drive in BDC.
No, exactly that. And I think it was only last year I met a driver, and they were put my way about some work on a car, and they was like, "What do you know about roll cages and this and suspension and engine conversions?" And it was only I said, "Well, take a quick look through my Instagram," and then they quickly realised that I weren't just a microphone jockey. It was more than that.
But you still don't actually know.
Yeah, I still don't know anything.
Everyone likes to try it.
Yeah, I'll just blag it, wing it like I have done my whole life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we'll call it there, boys. But it was nice having a chat with you, Wando.
Thanks,
Where did that was another thing that I meant to ask you. Where did Wando come from?
That was given to me by Mark Lappage. Because when I was driving, left foot braking was probably like something that not a lot of people did. Probably only 5 people in the whole paddock, left foot braked. And I used to use the handbrake a hell of a lot. Mark Buckle used to absolutely ruin me in every driver's briefing about handbraking in random places that you never needed a handbrake for. And yeah, it come from there. That and holding the welding torch. Mark Lappage just give you the nickname Wando, and then that's just stuck as well.
Yeah, well, that's it then, boys. I am going to call it there. And yeah, we're good chatting to you, Ian.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we shall see you at round 1.
Yeah, I'll see you soon, guys. Take it easy and stay safe.
See you in a bit, boys.
Everyone.
Bye.
See you later.